Everybody, Bennett for the Better Podcast, and welcome to Team Talk. So, a few weeks ago, Games Workshop dropped another Touchline Tactics episode article on the Warhammer community, and we're going to go through and see if it is good or if it is wildly inaccurate. Okay, so let's go to Warcom. I love these articles. They have been a lot of fun to read, and I come away every single time genuinely being like, oh, I love this team, I want to play this team. And this is Norse. So how to play Norse in Blood Bowl. Welcome back to Touchline Tactics, where we get the inside scoop on the playstyles and peccadillos of your favourite Blood Bowl teams. We assess their game plans, look at which skills to advance, and share our top picks of star players. Okay, look, this is Norse. Now, I am on record as saying that Norse are not one of my favourite teams. They are absolutely a favourite team of the channel, i.e. Trips absolutely loves them. I have seriously grown to enjoy them. I think we've featured them in a couple of championships, and like Cuddles, the Yeti, the Ulfwereners, the Valkyries, like it's a ton of fun. It's a remarkably unique team. Like you look at it and you're like, oh, this is just armor busted humans with block. It's just not. It's just such a unique play experience. Like there's a real identity to this team, which is really something that I'm very pro when it comes to Blood Bowl. So playstyle, the Norse are one of the most reliable starting teams when it comes to bashing your opponent, as the core of the team starts with the block skill. Frenzy also features on the roster, giving you even more chances to put the hurt on the opponents. Combine these with a reliable ball carrier and a Valkyrie, and the extra utility offered by beer boars, and Norse teams begin with a plethora of strong options. For all their love of hitting things, the Norse don't worry too much about what happens when they get hit back. I don't know. Most players have low armor, so you can't afford to just run headfirst into a problem. Instead, the focus should be on precision strikes against key opposition players rather than prolonged conflict. Don't man mark other bash teams, have your players form a screen instead, creating a defensive line just beyond enemy tackle zones that forces them to come through you with blitzes or risky dodge rolls. Okay, so is that a fair reflection of Norse and how Norse play? It's an interesting one because a 1-die block is pretty good. We're the dwarf who's got armor 10 plus. These guys are armor, what, 9 plus? No, armor 8 plus with thick skull. That makes them very, very... right. They've got thick skull because they're drunkards, which does actually work. Like, I'm quite a big fan of the way that works. But the fact is, you've got 2 Berserkers with block who do have frenzy, but their linemen have block here, which does make your team pretty resilient. So we'll talk more, I guess, as we talk into the players as they go. So tactics. The Norse Raiders are among the best linemen in the game. Starting with block makes that much safer to risk 1 dice hits at the beginning of a league. The low armor is slightly mitigated by thick skull, but losing a lineman isn't the end of the world. They only cost 50k. Yeah, that's reasonable. They are the best chaff linemen. Like, I know there are going to be the zombie fans out there being like, you are wrong, Ben. And I get it. But the fact is, in a pinch with Edge 3+, a lineman can do everything you want it to do. This guy, movement 6 with block, means he can be a reasonable blitzer. With block, movement 6, Edge 3+, it can be a very good ball carrier. Now, the downside of these guys is that they're drunkards, so you're rushing at -1. Okay, so normally a rush is a 2+ roll. These guys are going to be rushing on a 3+. And then if you incorporate a blizzard or something else, it can get very, very, very ropey. So if you play like I do, with lots of rushes, which you shouldn't do, but it's quite fun to do, Norse may not be the team for you. But the fact is that the bog standard linemen are actually very good. They are vulnerable, which is exactly what the article says, which yeah, all right. Good so far. So Berserkers are your blitzers, bringing block and frenzy on the table, with the latter providing more opportunity to put down your target player. Obviously, care must be taken with frenzy to avoid getting in tricky positions. Always make sure you bring backup. Jump up helps Berserkers get quickly back into action, and potentially even throw a punch after being knocked down. Okay, so the Berserkers are one of those players where I don't like them as much as others. Okay, this isn't a dump off situation. This is Berserkers are actually very good players. They're only movement 6. They've got reasonable armor. Edge 3+ is good. They've got block, which is fantastic. Now they've got frenzy. And frenzy on this team is not in short supply. You've got Ulfwereners who are strength 4 with frenzy, and you've got the blitzers who are strength 3 with frenzy, and then you've got the yeti who's strength 5 with frenzy. So the team's got a lot of hit opportunities. I prefer the strength 4 of Ulfwereners with frenzy. You get better blocks, and as soon as you level up to block, you are pounding. The thing about the blitzers is the Berserkers is that starting at strength If you've got strength 4 no block, it's a short way to go to get strength 4 block. If you've got strength 3 with block, it's a long way to go to get strength 4. So I've always preferred the Ulfwereners, I guess because the immediacy of just that raw power. So, but the Berserkers are just so versatile. Like, if you get a support, you can make a 4-die block, if you like, with block, which is phenomenal. And the fact they've got jump up means that they are always able to be very, very, very mobile, even blocking from the ground if they end up getting powed down somehow. And the fact they've got block means it's actually going to be quite limited as too. So the Berserkers are very good players on this team, and this is why this has got such a good identity. Is your linemen are good in some ways, worse in others, which makes your team interesting. Your blitzers, you've got 2 different kinds of blitzers, which gives you even more sort of choice and more playability. So the Ulfwereners are the second piece here. So Ulfwereners are your key players who are also blitzers. I agree. With strength 4 and frenzy plus a whopping for Norse armor 9+, they are deadly threats. Use them to create gaps in your opponent's defensive line and to ward off attempts to run down the wide zones. Frenzy is a great tool for throwing a player into the crowd. Yeah, I mean, Ulfwereners are, I think, the ultimate linebacker positional in Blood Bowl. Like, if you are going to keep guys as your kind of your middle defense safeties, the fact they are movement 6 and strength 4 means that they can pretty much solo most guys into a 4-die blitz most of the pitch, right? Okay, let's take pitch is what, 15 squares wide. Movement 6 is going to get you, if you slap in the middle, movement 6 is going to get you 13 squares, and then you've got the 2 rushes. One of them can sweep side to side basically, and if you've got a pair of these big old linebackers, they are going to be able to hit a ball carrier, to hit a breakthrough, to hit somebody. So I love them for that. We're not going to compare them to bull centaurs because they are also not bad. But the downside of these guys is they're Edge 4+. So these guys are for combat. They are just kind of like medium guys. Like, you've got your big guys, right, who are there to hit and can't do anything else. These guys are medium guys. They can hit, they've got good speed. You can in a pinch use them to do it. They are perfect. I love the Ulfwereners. Valkyries are rich in skills. They start with pass, catch, dauntless and strip ball. Your instinct might be to try and pass the ball around, though they make excellent ball carriers for running game as well. They're also great for defensive actions as fast players who can disrupt an opponent's offense from their first game. Right, the Valkyrie is a really interesting positional. They took away the thrower and the catcher and replaced them with the Valkyrie, right? So the Valkyrie has got the pass and catch. Ignore pass. They've got PA 3+, which is cool, but they've got no sure hands, so pass is there to be used in a if you need it. Okay. Also pretty good for SPP farming if you're in a league. Like, you can get a 3++. Is actually not bad to try and get a little bit of SPP to get these guys block or dodge or both. Catch is going to be really useful for handoffs. Like, it is just going to be the most useful skill there. Is actually, if you get anybody with the ball, they can hand it off to Valkyrie at movement 7 and they're going to be able to take that catch on 3++. It's so useful. Dauntless is interesting. With no combat skills, Dauntless here is a kind of going to save you in a pinch kind of skill. If you're running Ulfwerener or a Yeti or a Berserker, you will probably have a better option. But the fact they do have Dauntless gives them a chance. And Strip Ball is really interesting. So you've got pass without sure hands, you've got catch without dodge, you've got Dauntless without block, and you've got Strip Ball without block or wrestle. There's 2 things to that, and I love this. Like, the first is you can build these guys however you want. Okay, if you want them to be a thrower, you take sure hands and you use 1 to be sure hands pass. Maybe you take accurate, and then you've got this movement 7, 3++, 3++ quick. You've got the potential there to have a thrower. It's not the optimal way to run Norse, but man, there is always the dream of having that star quarterback, right? If you want them to be a ball carrier, a scorer, you've got the option of going sure hands, block. Okay, I'm going to carry the ball and be really secure as a runner. You've got the possibility of dodge really easily with skill access for these guys, and then they can be dodge, catch. You've got a catcher there immediately. If you want them to be your 2, 3, 4, 5th blitzer on this team, Dauntless. Block. Combos pretty well, or wrestle if you want to go in there and just absolutely positively, whoever it is you're hitting, give yourself a chance at a 1-die block with wrestle to bring somebody down. Really cool. And or you take something like jugs to maximize strip ball. There's a whole bunch of skills there that are useful. Don't forget them, because they're not going to come up all that often and you will forget that you have it. But strip ball, dauntless, pass, catch means that with the Valkyries, you've probably always got an interesting play to make, and you can develop them however you want. So for the low price of 20,000 gold pieces, you've even got the bargain with the Beer Boar. Pick Me Up is nice to have, but you should never be relied upon to solve your problems. The true strength comes in being able to dodge between opposing players to provide a crucial assist or to inflict a cheeky foul on a vulnerable foe. So, valuable foe. Okay, Beer Boars are wicked. At first, you may consider them just to be an accountancy thing, but which is totally fair. Like, you can take your 11th player as a Beer Boar, save yourself 30k and upgrade a lineman to a positional. Definitely worth considering. But when they're on the pitch, even though they're going to be the most targeted player this side of a gutter runner, they give you that flexibility. You've got a little bit of dodge, you've got a bit of stunty, you've got the maneuverability of them. They can go in, they can put the foot in, they can go and be your extra support, they can just go put themselves in a cage to really upset everybody. They are not going to last long, so don't get too attached to them. And then you've got the Yeti Cuddles. If you've been watching the channel for a while or watching any of the better championships, or seven, any of the Monday Night Blood Bowl stuff, Cuddles, you will know how a Yeti can be great, but a Yeti can also not be great unless you're trying to be great at standing. So with Claws and Frenzy, the Yeti can tear through any other player. Of course, being a big guy, there's a measure of unreliability, so make sure you have a backup plan. Yes. The Yeti's wicked. Claws is one of those skills, though. If you've got a player with claws, you're always going to want Mighty Blow. If you've got Mighty Blow, you're always going to want claws. So the cool thing is the Yeti can go with claws and then can pick up Mighty Blow, which means you can pick on the low armor targets with Mighty Blow or the high armor targets with claws. It's a pretty cool bit of toolkit, but the Yeti's never going to do what you want him to do anyway. So, hey. So, skilling up. What does this article say? Norse Raiders. Starting with block means you're free to focus on a more specialised role. One lineman with kick is useful, while such skills as defensive, fend, dirty player or tackle can help turn the tide. Yeah, look. I love kick on any lineman ever for the rest of time. So, yes. What this article is not saying here, but really is saying here, is random generals. You got a lineman, right? He accidentally picks up the ball, or you just use your only chance and it gets that ability. You've got 3 SPP from TD. Hey, take a gamble with a random, right? Or you wait and you're like, no, I do want a block tackle piece, because actually a movement 6 block tackle piece will be quite useful. Kick is going to be useful. Norse Raiders are one of the linemen in the game that you just kind of like, I don't need to level them up. Like, it's fine, but I agree with that. Berserkers. Mighty Blow is deadly when combined with Frenzy and Block. Berserkers also benefit from Tackle and Guard, and with reliable mobility from Jump Up, they can often get themselves into advantageous positions. Yeah, it really depends on the build of your team. If you're going to use your Ulfwereners as your hitters, they're the ones you're going to want to go Block Mighty Blow with. Your Berserkers then becomes your kind of secondary, okay, in which case Guard and Tackle could be quite useful. The cool thing, this is the cool thing about Norse, right? You've got so many different build opportunities, so many different things you can do with your team. So Mighty Blow for Berserkers is that's the traditional blitzer role, okay? Isn't it? Mighty Blow, Guard, Tackle. I'm going to be the blitzer that just kind of does stuff. Ulfwereners eat people. So Ulfwerener Block Mighty Blow is just really cool. So it means your Berserkers can be potentially your sweepers with Tackle, or the Guard assists for the rest of your team. I will be honest with you, Guard on a Berserker is just going to be one of those things that you are never sorry to have. It's less exciting, but it is absolutely going to help the rest of your team perform nicely. Ulfwerener's Block should always be your first skill. Yes. After that, standard pain infliction skills are welcome, such as Mighty Blow and Guard. Yeah, I mean, Block is the best. Mighty Blow, then definitely Mighty Blow second. Or you can be really bloodthirsty if you're in a league where there's not a lot of... If you're in a league where there's a lot of low armor targets, it's kind of tempting to take a bit of Mighty Blow, okay? Block is always positively better, always absolutely better, but it's fun to eat, right? Yeah, Ulfs, you don't want to be the sure hands Ulf guy. It's just not necessary on this team. Valkyries, it's worth specialising 2 Valkyries to fulfill different roles. Block and dodge are invaluable for a dedicated ball carrier, followed by sure hands and or sidestep. If you want a player to hunt down opposing ball carriers, then look for skills to aid in pinpoint attacks later in leagues, such as defensive wrestle to get past sure hands and tackle for defensive plays. We kind of already talked about Valkyries. I think that's pretty fair. Beer Boar, with only secondary skills, you're unlikely to get enough SPP on a Beer Boar. If you do, Sneaky Gear is the way to go, though it does double the boar. Yeah, that's fair. They're never going to get there anyway. It's like the Fox from the Gnome team. Yeti, for greater reliability when blocking, go for Juggernaut. Blitzing, go for Juggernaut. For lending team support, there's Guard, and for added deadlines, there's Mighty Blow. Deadliness. Oh, Not deadlines. We don't do deadlines. Yeah, I mean, the Yeti, again, it also kind of depends on your team and your league. Mighty Blow is great. Yeah, the Yeti loves to eat, and a couple of removals is pretty sweet. Guard is just going to allow your players to make 2-die blocks with block and no loner, so guard is probably the better way to go if you're ready and willing to front up with some of the other combat pieces. But if you got a budding star, then Mighty Blow is a pretty fun way to go. Right, stars, I do like the way they do this. You've got Ivan, you've got Thunder Barrel, you've got Barrack Farblast, you've got Acorn, I like that, and you've got Creek. Creek is always great, but you've got to, this is the cool thing. So Norse, the star players will be available to a Norse team depending on whether you become a favoured of or an Old World Classic, which you choose when drafting your roster. All right, we're not going to worry too much about star players, because when it comes to Norse, Acorn is going to be a great pickup, absolutely. 80k, you're probably going to have a couple of pieces of guard kicking around. Ivar's great, again, another bit of guard on the go. Creek, Hack Phlegm, like, can Skitter be taken with Old World, or is that Underworld? I think he's with favoured of. I don't think Skitter is favoured of. I think he's Underworld only. So you can't get Skitter, but you can probably get Hack Phlegm. The point is, Norse, you're not going to need a lot. You're not going to need a lot most of the time. So I am a huge fan of Norse, and I love going through these team things because they really make you appreciate the individual players and the potential that they've got. Like, I think the first 6 games of any team is like when you start to brew up their identity. You start to get that edge case where your Valkyrie's got dodge now, which becomes a bit of a threat, or this one's got block, or your Ulf's got block, and then it gets Mighty Blow and it becomes really a threat. All right, maybe 6 games is a bit optimistic for the Ulfwerener to get 2 skill ups, but hey, if he eats, it's good to go. I am a huge fan of how thematic, how much flavour the Norse team's got. They do give you a very different way to play, and let's face it, the models, Games Workshop have done a really good job with this team. The Yetis, because you've got Skrorg as well, are great. The little beer boars are brilliant. It's a really cool team. I would like the Ulfwereners to be a bit bigger, but they are obviously Ulfwereners because they've got big old wolf pelts on, so I'm cool with that. I love the Norse team, and yes, you should definitely play Norse. Let me know in the comments what we've missed and what you'd like to flag as a Norse coach in the comments below, and we'll be back soon with more web content. Happy blocking.